In a spooky village with mist around and big trees, lived Catherine, who's 11, her little brother James, and their mom Elizabeth. They moved there because their dad passed away, and they couldn't live in the city anymore. Their new home was a small, old house. Other houses were far away, and people in the village were strange. When the kids and their mom walked by, the villagers looked away, and talked quietly. James, the little brother, looked scared and asked his mom to leave this place. But they didn't have enough money to go somewhere else. Their mom said they had to stay here. Catherine was curious. She wanted to know why the village was weird and why people didn't talk much. She remembered her dad's stories about the village. He used to say strange things happened here, and people thought it was haunted. Many people came here, but they disappeared. Even tourists who wanted to find out the secrets never came back. One dark evening, James and their mom were playing inside. Catherine decided to go outside and find out more about the village. She wanted to uncover its secrets, even though it seemed scary. As Catherine stepped out of the cottage, a chill ran down her spine. The air was thick with a sense of mystery, and the moon barely peeked through the thick canopy of trees. She felt a mix of fear and excitement, her heart beating faster with every step she took. Walking cautiously, Catherine followed a narrow path that led deeper into the village. The houses seemed to huddle together, as if seeking protection from something unknown. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it faint whispers that sent shivers down her arms. As she wandered, Catherine noticed strange symbols etched onto the sides of some houses. They were like nothing she had ever seen before, twisted lines and shapes that seemed to pulse with an eerie energy. Her curiosity grew stronger, and she decided to ask the villagers about them. Approaching a hunched figure tending to a small garden, Catherine tried to sound brave as she asked, excuse me, why do some houses have those weird symbols? The villager turned slowly, his face obscured by shadows. His voice was a low rasp as he said, "Those symbols protect us, child. They keep the darkness away." Unsatisfied with the vague answer, Catherine pressed further. "What darkness? And why is this village so different?" The villager's eyes bore into hers, and for a moment, Catherine thought she saw a flicker of sadness. Long ago, this village was cursed by something unnatural. We've learned to live with it, but we don't talk about it. Those who ask too many questions, they tend to vanish. Catherine's heart raced as she absorbed his words. She thanked the villager and continued her journey, her determination unshaken. After talking to the villager, Catherine walked around the village. She saw some kids, like her age, going into a really scary, old house. The house looked super spooky with its big eyes as windows and walls that seemed to remember scary things. Catherine felt scared and ran to them, shouting, "Wait! Don't go in there!" But they didn't listen and went inside, laughing. She went inside too, even though she was really scared. The house was dark and had strange things all over, twisted sculptures, old paintings that looked like they moved, and a smell that made her think of old things. She looked for the kids and found them going down some creaky stairs. She called again, saying, "Stop! Wait!" But they kept going, and she went after them, even though she was really scared. When she got downstairs, what she saw shocked her so much that she couldn't move. There were holes in the ground like graves, and the kids were digging them up. They were taking out human bones and chewing on them like they were food. Catherine felt super scared and her skin got all bumpy. She wanted to run away, but her legs wouldn't move. With shaky steps, Catherine began to move away from the horrifying scene. She glanced behind and saw another kid who looked incredibly frightening. Blood covered her face and mouth. Catherine was shocked when she realized that some of the kids were now behind her, and she was in front of them. She felt trapped, not knowing how to escape from this terrible place. The kid in front of Catherine started to smile in a strange way. Tears streamed down Catherine's face as fear gripped her. Her whole body trembled. After a few minutes, the kid in front of her moved away and joined the others. Catherine seized the opportunity and sprinted, her heart pounding, until she reached what she thought was the side of the door. But to her shock, the door had vanished, and all the windows and doors had disappeared too. She looked around, hoping to find a way out of the eerie house, but there seemed to be no escape. She screamed and cried for help, but deep down, she knew that no one would come to her rescue in this strange, isolated place. Footsteps approached, and she turned around, only to be confronted by a terrifying creature. Its physical features were gruesome, its skin was pale and sagging, its eyes glowed with a malevolent light, and its twisted mouth revealed sharp, jagged teeth that seemed ready to tear into her. The sight of this horrifying creature paralyzed her with fear. Catherine screamed in terror once more. She begged the terrifying creature to spare her. Tears streamed down her face as she pleaded for her life. The creature's laughter echoed in the air, sending chills down her spine. "I have a task for you," the creature said, its voice cold and sinister. "Complete it, and maybe, just maybe, I'll consider letting you go."